Yes, hello everyone, I'm Rec-V5.
And I'm Sandman99.
And it's hammer time.
Yes, and who are you hammering today?
Well, we need to climb up the mountain, we need to resume our way up the mountain. And we need to basically kill some barbarians at the top of the mountain.
Oh, why?
Because they block the way to the entrance into the mountain.
Oh.
That's why. Hey look, Buddy actually activated his defensive aura right away.
Hey.
That's rare.
And then he's just going off on his own way, right?
Pretty much, yeah. We're actually just gonna run around those guys and get in here, because this is where we need to be.
Oh. And they don't follow you.
Yeah, they don't follow me. They're like, oh, they're going into the cave. We'll get the next group of guys that come out. That next group might even be me if I die in here. Okay, what do I got? I gotta switch weapons here. Because we need cold resistance for these guys. Hey, Buddy did okay job on that guy. Hitting him over and over and over again.
Yeah. He doesn't get stunned by them, obviously.
I don't know, actually. To be honest. I don't know how long. I think that lasts for 60 seconds, so we can use the good hammer for 60 seconds.
Oh.
Yes, although my reactions might be a little off today, because I just finished playing Parasite Eve.
Yes, which is a very different game from this.
I'm gonna hit that urn probably, but I want to get myself a bit of space here first.
Why are you going to hit that urn?
It'll spawn a boss.
Oh, why do you want to do that?
Might get better item, might get more experience or something, I don't know.
Oh.
But I'd like him to, I'd like to have more room than just the entryway to maneuver in.
Oh.
Because I might need to run away from the boss. In fact, I'll very likely have to run away from the boss.
Or you could just not spawn them.
Oh, that's a boss pack, apparently. Take him out. Trying to get the corpse. Maybe I got the corpse already. I'll pick up the ceremonial javelins. I don't think they're worth a damn, actually.
Oh. They're just ceremonial?
Well, they're a Amazon item.
Oh.
He's shooting me with cold, and then he's also fire enchanted. How annoying.
Wow.
Oh, and there's still this guy. Deal with that problem. I want that skull, though.
The flawless skull?
Yes, and I don't know what we can do with the superior. That might sell. I'm pretty sure that's worthless, but I picked it up anyways. And, well, whatever. We'll carry the short spear until we find something else. Honestly, the field plate is probably the best thing to pick up out of all that crap.
Huh.
It'll probably sell for a couple thousand just because it's metal plate armor.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, don't get surrounded.
Yeah, well, I wanted to run out there and get the guy who's going to resurrect these guys every time we kill them. But there's a boss pack there, so these guys are a little tougher than normal. So I guess there's another boss pack there. Because we can redeem their corpses, and then as we redeem their corpses, they can't get resurrected anymore. But also, too, if we smash them into ice, then they also can't get resurrected.
Oh.
Although then I can't heal off of them.
Well, it's a trade-off, I guess, hey?
Yeah, kind of.
I seem to remember carvers as being, like, low-level enemies in the first game.
Yeah, they're basically like a low-level, kind of goblin kobold type enemy. Right? That's kind of the role that they fulfill.
Except in this game, you've already gotten considerably beyond that level of play, right?
Well, you know, I think they might even, like, some of the acts in this game, too, they have the concept of, like, guest enemies.
Oh.
And they might be a guest enemy here. So... But it's not necessarily the carvers themselves that are the problem. It's the boss packs. The boss packs will be stronger. Although getting shot with frost over and over again kind of sucks. And normally I think they shoot fireballs, so I think the frost is actually an effect that they get from being here, right?
Oh, now here comes a whole bunch of...
Yeah, a bunch of abominable snowmen types. Yeah. We'll pull back a little ways. Oop, I didn't want to get that close to that guy. I just want to fight this guy on the edge. Yeah, I kind of want the gnarled staff now. That might sell for a whole ton. No, it's worthless garbage.
Oh, how can you tell?
It didn't have a plus to a skill on it.
Oh.
If it has plus to a skill on it and it's like magic user equipment for like the sorceress, then it's gonna sell for a ton. Same with if it's like plus to a skill and it's like necromancer equipment. Ooh, that's part of a boss pack. I guess if we can thin out a couple of them before we trigger the boss pack, that's nice. That boss pack is going to be right around the corner. Here it comes, actually, probably.
Super mana potion.
Yep, there's the boss. Ah, teleportation fire enchanted, that's not so bad.
He teleports?
Yeah, he'll teleport and he'll also blow up when he dies.
Oh.
Kind of like that.
He didn't do much teleporting there.
He didn't do much blowing up either. Didn't really get hurt too bad by that. But I think they also have like fire hit damage, so like they do like fire damage when they hit you.
Oh.
But you know what? The note might be worth something if I could pick it up. It is... Oh, note is a 6th thing item. Okay. Well, we'll go back in town and sell our junk. Because we got a fundraise for when Buddy inevitably dies, right? Because Buddy will die. Yeah, those sold for like 4 grand. I guess they were okay. That sells for 30 grand. So that's a Buddy right there. That's a Buddy resurrection. 1 to 6 damage on a jewel. I don't think I need to save that one. Even though I tend to hoard these things. Apparently I've been hoarding rejuvenation potions now too, whatever. We found a whole bunch of them there, so...
What are you doing with the skull?
It's one of those items that you can use to socket into items.
Oh, I see. So you're gonna put it into your endless inventory of stuff.
Yeah, my endless inventory of shit that I hoard and never use.
Yeah, because you don't even probably even know what all you've got in there anymore.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's what I found with a lot of these kinds of games, though, too, right? Even the more modern ones, is you collect so much stuff, and if you actually have the storage space to store things that you think you might want to use later,
yeah.
Well, it becomes the bolt bin theory, right? And what I mean by that is at a place I worked at once, you know, like I was working in the shop and I was looking in the bolt bin.
Yep.
And there was like a whole shitload of like old rusty, like used bolts and other things that didn't really belong in there and that kind of thing, right? So I started just throwing these things out. And then the guy who's in charge says, well, like, why are you throwing that stuff out? And I said, well, like, have you actually used any of these things in the last 5 years? It's like, no. Well, then why are you keeping them? They're taking up space and making it harder to find the things that we actually do need to use, right?
Yeah. Yeah, sell them to a scrapyard to melt down.
So it's the bolt bin theory. And actually, when I first started working in the mining industry, and I was a plant operator, and the guy who was the foreman of the plant, well, he used to like to make sure that we kept busy on night shift and stuff like that. So he'd bring us these pails, like 5-gallon pails full of used bolts. And we had a bench grinder with a wire wheel attachment, right? So he'd want us to clean all these bolts up with a wire wheel and then sort them into the bolt bin.
Yeah.
So what we did instead is we'd take those 5-gallon pails out to the float where the fresh water pump was on the pond.
Yep.
And dump them over the side, right?
Oh, fuck.
Because this guy, I don't know, he was trying to be frugal or something, I guess, but I mean, you have to realize that bolts, even fairly large size ones, like 3/4 inch or so, are actually pretty cheap, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can buy a lot of bolts for a couple $100.
Well, also, maybe the reused bolts might be of dubious quality, especially if they're very rusted.
The thing is that for what we were getting paid an hour to work there was actually a lot of far more useful things that we could be doing, right?
Than sorting bolts.
Than sorting used bolts and cleaning them with a wire wheel. And I guess some people might disagree with that, but you know what? That's something that us plant operators just put our heads together and said, you know what? We'll just do that because he isn't going to look in the bolt bin to see if we actually did that anyway. He's just giving us, like, make work, right?
Yeah.
You know? And, yeah, I never heard anything about it. Like, he never said anything about it, so... But every now and then he'd bring back along 2 or 3 buckets of these, used bolts and stuff, and, when he went home for the day and we were on night shift, we'd just take them out to the float and dump them over the side.
Well, that's one way to get out of it.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? Once I had that guy's job, I cared a lot more about, having plant operators out inspecting their equipment and, making note of, bad rollers or bearings that sounded funny or, pumps that didn't seem to be working 100% or whatever. Like,
it was the end of the bolt bin.
It was the end of the used bolt bin thing. Because I felt that they had better things to do. And when I was in charge, well, then, I had to try and convince these guys that, instead of, doing silly things like that, I want you to be out with your equipment, actually inspecting it and listening to it and watching it to make sure that it's all working properly, right?
Well, I guess if it doesn't break down, then you don't have to use bolts from the bolt bin to repair it.
Well, yeah.
Or if you can catch it before it breaks down or whatever.
But it's tough. The toughest thing about being a foreman in that kind of a job is trying to get your people invested in the operation, right? To give them a sense of pride, like that they're actually doing something that's special that not just anybody can do,
Yep.
Because operating an industrial plant like that is a skill set.
Yep.
And it's something that you just can't take any schmuck off the street and expect them to be able to do a good job. You need people with experience who understand how the equipment works and can recognize correct operation or potentially, incorrect operation that could lead to problems, right?
Yep.
And that's actually the single most important characteristic of a person who operates a you know, like a wash plant or a gravel crushing plant or something like that. The ability to, you know, like operate the equipment correctly and troubleshoot potential problems, right?
Yeah.
You know, their ability to, you know, like work a shovel or sort bolts or whatever. I mean, that's strictly secondary, you know, like that takes a back seat to the more important things. Not saying that there isn't a certain amount of menial work in that type of thing to go do too, right? You know, because you still do have to, you know, like clean up leakage on their conveyors so that the you know, the sand doesn't pile up too high and interfere with the operation of the equipment. And
Yep.
you know, like there still is a certain amount of you know, that kind of menial work, but the main focus is paying attention to the operation of your facility and making sure everything's working right.
Fair enough, fair enough. Actually, that sparkling ball might be good.
And there was one lead hand who, he didn't actually work for me, he worked for a different supervisor in a different area, but he had a very good saying that I liked, which was be smarter than the dirt. So if you walk by a conveyor and if you have to shovel up under that conveyor more than, you know, once every 12 hours or so, well then there's obviously something wrong with the scraper on the belt for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because what a scraper is, it's basically a device that is set up in such a way that it presses against the bottom side of the belt and knocks loose any stuck-on sand or debris that could be, you know, like traveling on the return side of the belt, which then is later deposited on the ground underneath the conveyor, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, like for him, you know, and I think he taught his people that too. He was a good lead hand, very good. He should have had a supervisor job, I think. But he taught his workers that if you notice a chronic mess location under a conveyor, well, then you need to make a note of that, and then we need to get somebody to do some maintenance there to work on, you know, replacing the scraper or possibly even, you know, buying a better one or something, right?
Yeah.
Because not all conveyor scrapers are created equal. I mean, you can go from the absolute cheapest of the cheap, which is basically a 3-layer rubber, usually like a harder rubber on the two outside layers, and then sort of like a spongy rubber in the middle. And you pinch that between a couple pieces of flat bar, and then, you know, use some sort of either screw or spring-loaded device to press it up against the bottom of the belt, right? But those are the cheapest things that you do. You could also buy pre-made ones with like polystyrene type material, which were, you know, and you could also get some really aggressive ones even that had metal scraper elements, right?
Yeah.
And in some areas, like where conveyor belts were handling particularly wet material, like sand out of a dewatering screw or something like that,
that's why you'd use those.
That's what you'd use those for, because you'd need a very aggressive scraper like that in order to remove the material and have it drop in a location of your choosing rather than wherever it, you know, happened to fall off the belt, right?
Yeah.
And if you could get it to all drop in a location of your choosing, then instead of having guys, you know, like
shoveling it out all the time,
you could actually have, you know, a small loader or a skid steer or something go in there and clean it out every now and then instead, right? Because it would be specifically in a location where a machine like that could fit.
Yeah.
But that was that guy's expression, right? You gotta be smarter than the dirt, right?
Good expression.
Yep. Made sense. But I've also seen cases of, you know, guys who were either really experienced or not good plant operators too, and when they don't pay attention to a noise that's out of the ordinary, you know, it's caused severe damage to equipment in the plant too, right?
Yep.
You know, like, for example, a screener that suddenly developed a really loud rattle, and the guy just let it continue on, and what had happened was one of the guards for the counterweights came loose, like the bolts came loose on his night shift, and he basically just sat there, and this guard came loose to the point where it was flopping around till it tore an oil line.
Wow.
And then all the oil that was supposed to be lubricating the bearings for the screener leaked out, and then the bearings seized, right?
Wow.
And it costs like $15,000 a side to replace the bearings for those. Plus all of the lost production through the breakdown and all that kind of stuff too. All because he didn't pay any attention to a loud clanging noise that was coming from a machine that was only like 25 feet from the booth that he was sitting in, right?
Jeez.
But that guy wasn't a good plant operator either, right? You know, a good plant operator would have actually gone out and investigated, and you know, he would have for sure at least seen what was wrong, and then if he felt like he could fix it himself, he could have shut down the plant for a bit and fixed it himself. Or if he didn't think he could handle it, he could still at least shut down the plant and then phone me, and you know, like get some you know, advice on what to do, right?
Yeah.
But,
instead of just letting it run.
Instead of just letting it run until it killed itself, right? Because this happened in the middle of the night too, and I used to get calls in the middle of the night from some operators. And you know what? I didn't like getting called in the middle of the night, but I
didn't like paying a $15,000 fee more?
I definitely preferred that to having a major costly breakdown because somebody didn't think to call me about a problem, right?
Buddy there was a little surrounded there.
But yeah, like supervisor in that line of work was a tough job. You were never ever really off work, right?
Yeah.
Because you could get calls in the middle of the night, you know, calls on weekends. In fact, it was funny because sometimes on Monday morning, I'd put in like a 60-hour week, right?
Yep.
And then on Monday morning, I'd come into work, and my boss, who was like in charge of everybody in northern Alberta, basically, you know, like hundreds of people.
Yep.
So he was kind of like almost like a manager, district manager kind of a guy. And he'd say to me, so did you come into work on Saturday for a bit? It's like, no.
God.
So yeah, I mean, that kind of work, it actually paid pretty good, but they expected you to be on call every day, like...
Yeah, live and breathe the job.
Yeah, basically live and breathe the job, right? Yeah.
I don't know, it's one thing to do that if it's something you're passionate about, but that's kind of hard to do if it's something that you're not really passionate about. And we had a problem there. We had our hireling teleport in that big fiasco there.
Oh, yeah?
So now all the monsters are going to target us repeatedly.
Oh, I see.
And we'll have to see how that's going to go. I guess at least I've mapped out a decent amount of this area if I have to save and exit and re-go from getting targeted too much.
But anyway, yeah, it was a tough job. It was like tough at times physically. It was tough psychologically and mentally.
Yeah,
you know, like you had to have a certain amount of mental toughness. And it seemed like a lot of the rank and file workers too, they would be quick to criticize decisions that you made and all that kind of stuff, and they all figured they could do the job better, but they didn't seem to realize that there's going to be that element where you're expected to always be at work or ready to jump up and go to work, right? You gonna die here or what? Is that
well,
what's
I'm
gonna
getting
happen?
hit by these guys repeatedly. But again, it's because they won't target the hireling now that he's gone and teleported and bugged out.
And the reason that I know this is because when I was younger and I wasn't the boss yet, I always thought that I could be a better boss and do a better job. And you know what? I found out the reality of it once I was the boss.
Yeah.
Right? being the boss isn't all that it's cracked up to be. It basically means that you're not just responsible for yourself, you're responsible for everybody, and you're responsible for everything that goes wrong regardless of how it happened, right?
Yeah.
And that even includes when somebody does something dumb and gets hurt, right? Like one time a guy was trying to do something particularly, like I guess you have to give him kudos for creativity. He was trying to connect a pipe to a tank, and he was trying to do it by himself for some reason. And so he jury-rigged up a way to bend this thick-walled plastic pipe in such a way so that he could try and line up the bolt holes. But he somehow got his hand in between the two flanges, and then the jury rigging he did let go, and that pipe snapped back into place and broke 3 or 4 bones in his hand, right?
Well, fuck, Abe.
So I get a call in the middle of the night because he was trying to do this, after I'd already gone home for the day. And I'm not sure why he was trying to do that by himself, because he did have another guy there working with him.
Yeah.
But anyway, I ended up having to take him to the local town hospital and get his x-rays and get his hand patched up, and I had to phone the regional safety guy and all that kind of stuff. And the first thing he said to me is, how did you allow this guy to get hurt? It's like, well, I didn't allow him to do anything. I wasn't even there at the time, right?
Yeah.
I worked my 12 hours for this day and I'd already gone home. Because a guy has to sleep sometimes, right?
Yep.
But that was the attitude, right? You're the supervisor. You're responsible for what happened to this guy. Even though he was doing something that I couldn't have possibly anticipated. And there's no way that I could have predicted that this thing that happened to him was going to happen, because it would have never occurred to me to even try and do what he was trying to do, right?
Yeah. Well, we get more lifesteal with this armor set on.
Yeah.
And I think we get more defense.
Okay, sounds like a good deal.
So if I go like this and I go like this, yeah, we get a whole bunch more defense. We lose a bunch of our cold resistance, though.
Oh. Well, everything's a trade-off, right?
We maintain our lightning resistance. But, yeah, we lose a bunch of cold resistance.
Looked to me like you didn't have a lot of cold resistance anyway, because every time you turn blue, you start moving around really slow anyhow.
Well, we'll see how it all goes. We'll see how it all goes. But, yeah. I'm thinking I'll try with the low cold resistance for now. Yeah. We'll see how much damage I take, and if I'm taking way too much damage, then I'll switch back to something with cold resistance. Or I'll have to switch hammers, because my other hammer here has cold resistance on it too, and it gives me 40% at least.
Yeah, but anyway, you could say I was a career field level supervisor, right? Yep. Basically a foreman in that type of industry. For probably the better part of 25 years I was a supervisor. And I never got beyond that level, but I can only imagine that management types above me must have also had similar drawbacks to their jobs, right?
Yeah.
Just because the jump that I made from being one of the rank and file to being a supervisor opened my eyes a lot, right? And also, I found out that I was simply aware of a lot more things than a regular, just guy working on the plant was too, right?
Yeah.
And some of the things that were decided, or the way that things were done, might not have always made sense to me or to others in that job when I was just a plant operator or a worker. But
it made more sense once you finally were responsible for everyone.
It made more sense when I was finally in that supervisory position, and I had a better understanding of why some things were done the way that they were, right?
Yeah.
But it's difficult to explain that to, people who work for you too, right? because they have their own preconceived notions, and they all, I think it's human nature. Everybody thinks that they'll be better at their boss's job than they are, right?
Yeah. I guess it's just that inherent rebelliousness, right?
Yeah, I suppose, because like I said, the reason I understand this is because I remember how I felt when I was, like a plant operator or a laborer, and then I remember, what happened and how my field of view expanded, and I became aware of things that I didn't know before, right? Once I became a supervisor. But I suppose that's why, like the companies that I work for, basically I work my way up to that point within the company. At least when I first became a supervisor anyway. And that's probably why a lot of companies in that type of business do promote from within, because they want people who are going to see the difference firsthand, maybe, and understand that, because it kind of helps you to try and deal with the people who work for you a little bit too, if you can more or less understand what it is that they do on a day-to-day basis too, right?
I see Buddy has decided to come and do his job.
Yeah.
Did you see him just sitting over there? Maybe he was taking a leak or something.
Yeah, probably. It's like, yeah, I'll be here. I'll be with you in a minute. Zip.
Yeah, if I can get the first hit on those guys, they're no match for me.
Yeah.
It's just getting the first hit on them, right? And it's harder, too, because now with Buddy being bugged out, they won't acknowledge that he exists or that he's there.
Isn't there a way to fix that?
Yeah, save and reload the game.
Oh.
Which means I'd lose all my current progress.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so maybe when I find the waypoint in here. That's also why I didn't go back and hit those urns after all.
Yeah. Well, you've got more than enough enemies to kill here anyway, I think.
Because right now, all he does is provide something probably like a 200% defensive buff to me.
Yeah.
Which isn't, like, insignificant, but...
See, one thing that makes me wonder is what use do monsters in a cave maze have with gold? Why are they dropping all this gold?
I don't know, it's just kind of
do they have, like, the monster supermarket where they go to buy groceries? Or, are they getting paid for being monsters?
I mean, it makes more sense in cases where the monsters are more humanoid-like, right?
Yeah.
Or if there's something that is known to mass collect wealth, like, say, I don't know, a dragon, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't really make sense for, like, demonic and sometimes even, like, brainless enemies to collect wealth.
Like you can see them at the end of the day, if they're still alive, heading toward the punch clock there to punch out for the day, right? And collect their pay stubs.
God. I want to put my armor
lunch pail monsters, right?
Lunch pail monsters?
Afternoon.
Well, that would explain where all the gold comes from. And maybe gold is the accepted form of currency, where you will go to the monster store to buy a pack of smokes or something, right?
God. Well, the thing is, too, is you get so much of it, right?
Yeah.
It's just so much gold all the time. I think I need to repair my weapon.
Yeah, I think some of these games kind of, like, gloss over the logic. The logic of this kind of stuff, that sort of thing, a little bit.
Yeah, if you're going into hell, you're probably not going to find a lot of gold.
Yeah, well, that's a difference that I notice even when in the Gold Box game, right? Because we played an episode of that yesterday, and there's lots of monsters in that game that don't even carry any treasure to speak of.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if they're not treasure-relevant creatures, they don't have gobs of gold pieces on them.
Yep. Well, I found the waypoint for this place. But, I don't know. We still have a ways to go, too. I might, once I figure out where I need to go, save and reload just to get Buddy back in order. Because he's kind of being a useless tit since he, bugged out, right?
Well, you seem to be... You had a couple of near misses there, but you seem to be doing alright.
Well, it's mostly for the boss fight that we'll be doing, that I'll want Buddy to be ready and available and actually participating. Although I guess in a way he's participating, because everything ignores him and he can just stab it, but...
Yeah.
But I'd really very much like them to actually, like him to draw some fire away from me. Right?
You know, and then after work they go to the Monster Bar, right?
Yeah.
To spend some of their hard-earned gold. And on Friday nights they have the Monster Poker game, right?
Sure, yeah. Well, that would explain why they're all huddled up in the room when you go in there,
That's right. You're interrupting their poker night.
Wrong button. Okay, we need to back up. That's a boss. And a kind of nasty one at that.
Yeah. Although, to tell you the truth, I've never really understood the concept of, you know, like playing games of chance with my friends for money, you know?
Yeah, well, that seems to be the kind of thing
how,
that would not make you friends.
Yeah, you know, it makes me wonder how that would happen, right? Because actually, it was pretty weird, but, you know, my mother's second husband was kind of into the card playing thing and that kind of thing, and you know, like I ended up sitting around a table with him and 2 or 3 of his buddies one night playing poker.
Yep.
And I mean, I think I dropped something like $25, but I mean, you know, like it wasn't huge stakes, but still there was money on the table, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it made me wonder how these guys can all remain on good terms when you know, like potentially a guy could, you know, like I bowed out after losing $20 or so, right?
Yeah.
But they were still playing when I was done, like when I left, and I would guess that you know, they potentially, at the rate they were going, could have dropped $100 just, you know, sitting around the kitchen table playing cards with your relatives, right?
Yeah, I really don't know.
Like that's really weird. But anyway.
I guess maybe some people would get or understand that. It's not something that I particularly understand, though. And that's as someone who, like, I don't mind the occasional card game, but, like, I've never played a card game for money in my life.
Yeah.
And I probably never will.
Well, I've never been one to go to the casinos and stuff like that, because the way I look at it is when you go to one of those places, you're basically giving those people permission to steal from you, right?
Yeah, the odds are pretty rigged against you.
Yeah.
And any game that has good odds, like, because there are some card games that exist that have actually very good odds for victory, are not games that you find in casinos.
No.
Right?
No. And the funny thing is that if you are one of those people who has a good memory and a talent for such a thing, that you can keep track of all the cards that have been dealt through in the deck, just even in your head, they consider that to be cheating. Yeah,
and then they remove you from the casino and ban you for life.
Yeah, because they call it card counting, I guess. And they don't like it if you're playing a game of chance and you're a little too strategic, I guess. Because that's the way I see it, is that's, you know, people who have that kind of a talent to do that kind of thing or develop that skill, they're basically just improving the odds for themselves, right?
Yeah.
Which are already severely stacked in favor of the house.
I don't know. I mean, like, I knew a guy who worked in a casino once. I don't know what his take on that particular thing would be, but, you know, I kind of lean more your way on it, without knowing better anyways.
Yeah.
Alright, and even then, like, I probably wouldn't go anyways, just because I know that the odds are so bad.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not somebody who can card count or anything like that. Hell, I can't even remember if I've looted the fucking storage room on a, like, given floor in Parasite Eve or not.
Yeah.
Hell, actually, I can't even... Sometimes I can't even remember if I've grabbed a pop or not. I'll have like 2 or 3 cans of pop sitting next to me because I couldn't remember if I grabbed a can of pop.
Yeah.
And I'm not at the age where you get like Alzheimer's or dementia or anything either. Like, I'm a little bit younger than you.
Yeah. Well, I'm not quite at that age either. I haven't started to lose it yet anyway. But yeah, the way I see it is that I'm personally, you know, we where we live, it's actually been just within the last, I want to say 20 years that they've made casinos legal.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I never really paid much attention to it.
And, you know, so, you know, I can remember a time when, you know, like there was no legal gambling of that type in this part of the world. In this part of the world, right? And I'm pretty sure that that was the case even in other provinces and even, right? Like,
yes.
You know, people would go to, you know, get on a plane and go to Las Vegas, and it would be a big deal because they had legalized gambling there, right?
Yeah.
But this is something that, you know, just didn't happen here. Although they did have bingo halls here. You could go and play bingo if you were so inclined. And I married into a big bingo playing family. But the funny thing is that I didn't go after a while. The first little while, you know, I'd go with my wife and you know, a couple of members of her family and that kind of thing, her sister and her mom and that sort of thing, and we'd go and sit down and play bingo. And I wasn't really much of a bingo player. I'd only play like one little strip of cards, right? They'd each be playing like enough to cover a small table in front of each of them. But I thought that this was supposed to be a social occasion. So I'd be chatting and visiting and that kind of thing, and then they'd be telling me to shut up, right?
Yeah, because they couldn't hear the numbers.
What? So you guys all come here and you sit at these tables with these ink things, you know, like sponge dauber ink things, and you mark numbers on a card, and you don't talk to each other.
Nope.
Right? Like you just sit there in silence and you know, do this. It's like, what's the point? Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, if I want to sit and not talk to you, I can do that at home.
Fair enough.
So after a while, I stopped going because I guess I never really got the point of the whole thing. But yeah, and it was really funny too because you know, my mother-in-law's brother and his wife would come to visit from Saskatchewan, and the first thing they do is they'd all pile into the car, and they'd drive to a bingo hall where they would proceed to sit and not talk to each other, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, I always found that to be very strange. I didn't understand. However, I guess they got a lot of enjoyment out of it, and I can still remember one night when Ma there won $5,000. She won a bonanza.
Wow!
And when I showed up to pick them all up, my wife was on one side of her, and her sister was on the other side of her, and they were literally almost supporting her because she was just like crying and you know, it was like,
it was a joyous occasion.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, for her that was like a once in a lifetime big win, right?
Yeah.
She won $5,000 in playing bingo, and you know what? She didn't spend a cent of it on herself. But everybody got really good Christmas gifts that year.
Nice.
Right? Yeah. Because that's the kind of woman that she was, right?
Yeah, very generous.
Yeah. To a fault, almost. And, but it was kind of sad in a way, because I could see, even though I didn't understand it, I saw how much enjoyment my wife and her family got out of that, you know, going to bingo. They'd all go to bingo together, and then after they were out of bingo, they'd talk to each other about how, you know, so-and-so cheats because they called bingo when they didn't have one and interrupted the flow of the numbers and and blah blah blah. Like what I mean. Like it was almost like they would talk to each other about how their night at bingo went, but after it was all done, right? After they'd spent 4 hours sitting in the bingo hall not talking to each other, they'd kind of make up for lost time after it was done. And I'd be driving with a car full of them, and they'd all be chattering away about how their night at bingo was, right? And, they seem to get a lot of enjoyment out of it, and actually, even, I would say, joy out of it, right?
Yeah.
But what happened once they opened the casinos is that the bingo halls kind of, like there still are a few of them out there, but they definitely became less popular.
Yeah.
Because many people who used to go to the bingo halls went to the casino instead.
Yeah, they'd rather spin slots instead.
Yeah. And somehow, I don't think that they, I know that my wife and her sisters and her mom, they went to the casino sometimes to play slots and that kind of thing too. But they never really got the enjoyment out of that they did out of the bingo, I don't think.
Yeah.
Occasionally, my wife would come home with, a couple $100 because she had a good night playing the slots or something, right? But she would also keep control of it. Like, she would take with her, I think she would take like $60, and she'd play like nickel slots, right?
Yep.
And I guess she would just play nickel slots until she either ran out of money or she got far enough ahead that she had enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if she won, $200 or $300, well, then that was enough. Like, she'd quit while she was ahead, right?
Yeah, some people can get really stuck on those things.
Well, she's also told me stories about how she listened in on conversations of people talking on the payphones in there.
Yeah.
Like the woman talking on the payphone to her husband, trying to explain to her husband how she lost his entire paycheck at the casino.
Oh my God.
Or, like somebody trying to get the limit on their Visa increased so that they could, continue to play because they'd already maxed out their Visa by making cash withdrawals on it to gamble at the casino, right?
Wow, crazy people.
Yeah,
crazy people.
Well, the way I see it is that, I know that the libertarian view of it is that it's up to you to be responsible and all that kind of stuff, but I think that making that type of gambling available to everybody caused a great deal of harm too, right?
Although they may have been engaged in other things that were harmful before that anyways. Like the whole impulse control thing, in general, it tends to manifest other ways.
Yeah. But still, though, I don't think that making casinos legal around here made our lives any better. But then again, though, my view of gambling has always been one of, almost, I don't know, I kind of look at it with disdain, kind of. Because I'll tell you a little story about when I was young. And, I was in, elementary school still at the time. I might have been 7 or 8 years old.
Yep.
And I got an allowance.
Yep.
And at the time, that allowance was like 25 cents a week or something, because for 25 cents, you could buy like a pretty good sized brown paper bag full of candy. Like you could buy a bag full of, for 25 cents, you could buy a bag full of like 50 Mojos or 25 pieces of bubble gum or something like that, right? Like you could buy a fair amount of stuff for 25 cents.
Back when money was still worth something.
Yeah, back when money was still worth something.
And houses didn't cost $1 million.
But my dad, came to me one day, and on allowance day, and he says, "You know what? I'm going to teach you a little bit about gambling now." And I said, "Well, okay." So he says, "Here is your quarter in one hand," and he says, "And here is a $5 bill in the other hand." He says, "Now I'm going to put these behind my back and swap them around a little bit, and then you can pick a hand." And he says, "If you get the $5 hand, you get to keep it. But if you don't pick the $5 hand, you get nothing." So, okay, well, that sounded pretty good. So I picked a hand, and I ended up losing and getting nothing. And I'll tell you, that made an impression. And I was pretty upset at the time. And he says to me, well, you know what? That's what gambling is all about. Right? Maybe you'll win, but you have to remember that maybe you'll also lose. Right? And that was I guess it was kind of a very harsh way of teaching that lesson, but I remembered it for the rest of my life.
Yep. Well, for me, I've never had an experience like that in terms of gambling or anything like that. For me, it's mostly just I'm a very frugal person by nature, and I'm very much just like, well, you know, the money that I spend on gambling, I could spend on, say, you know, instant noodles or a used laptop or some other like weird piece of tech junk.
Yeah, well, that's,
that I tend to collect.
That's what I say too. Is that I would rather spend my money and have something to show for it, right?
Well, like especially given the current way that things are with all the laptops getting retired as a result of Windows 11's new system requirements, you can pick up, or at least you could for a while. I don't know how it is now with the RAM prices spiking, but you could for a while actually pick up like reasonably decent laptops for like $200 Canadian, right? And they'd have like 16 gigs of RAM in them and things like that. And yeah, they're used. Like, for example, one of the laptops that I ended up buying myself, it had a Saudi Arabia tag on it. But it's just like, well, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It still works, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter to you if it won't run on Windows 11 because you're never going to run that system anyway.
That's right. Right? I'm going to either run Windows 10 on it or I'm going to run Linux on it.
Yeah.
Right? And it works perfectly good for the purposes that I use it for, right? It's perfectly good for programming.
Well, and you know what? The computer that we're doing this episode on right now is running on Windows 10.
Yep.
And I don't really feel the need to upgrade to Windows 11 either. And if we someday have to replace the motherboard in this computer again, and we can't run Windows 10 with it, then I'm going to switch to Linux.
Yeah, well, that was the only reason you even upgraded from Windows 7 was that your motherboard physically did not support
That's right.
Windows 7
We
anymore.
had the motherboard die, and I'm still mad about that. We had the motherboard, and it died, the previous motherboard in this computer.
Yep.
And so we were forced to replace it. And then I couldn't even use the same install of Windows, and I ended up having to rebuy Windows anyway.
Yep.
Because it wouldn't let me install it on a different, what it saw as being a different computer.
Yeah, it's because they want you to register everything now with a online Microsoft account in order to verify your Windows installation, right?
Yeah.
And if you didn't do that, if you just used like the regular offline install media registration process, then you were pretty much fucked, right?
Yeah. And you know what? That Microsoft, that was your last dime that you're going to get out of me, because that is downright predatory business practice.
Well, especially because you shouldn't have to have your shit always online anyways.
And all I'm going to say to you is fuck you, Microsoft, okay? You know, like I had to pay an extra $200 to rebuy Windows 10 when I had already had it once.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't let me, you know, like, because the way that it detected it was with the new motherboard, it thought that it was being installed on a different computer.
Yeah. And it's because what they do is if you don't register things with an online Microsoft account, you want to still have the ability to log into your computer offline and not be connected to a Microsoft account, then what it does is it ties your installation key to your motherboard. And so the motherboard is like, motherboard failures aren't that common, but if the motherboard does fail, it's like the worst thing to go.
Yeah.
Because then it invalidates everything, and it's just like, well, fuck.
So anyway, Microsoft will never get another dime out of me. They can go fuck themselves. Linux is free.
Yep.
And it works just as well from what I've seen. Your computer, you seem to be able to run. You seem Linux to be able to run all the same things that I can run.
Yep. I've run Linux for over a decade.
Yeah.
So. And, you know, part of that is why, but also, like, actually, I adopted Linux when Windows 8 came out. Because the user interface change for Windows 8 was so appalling to me that I was like, fuck this. And they didn't even have necessarily, I don't think they even had the predatory licensing key thing yet. or anything like that. I just didn't like how they basically took away the fucking taskbar and things like that. And I'm just like, you know what? If I'm going to have to use a system where you guys are going to have control over how I use a computer, then I'm just going to choose something where I can control it.
Yeah. Because
and fuck you.
Because it isn't even their computer, right?
That's right. Although now they have computer rental services. You could pay a yearly rent fee for like a gaming laptop, and it's like $200 a month or something like that.
That's a lot of money
in order to
wow.
In order to rent a gaming laptop.
Wow, that's a lot of money for a computer.
Yeah, but you never own it, no matter how much you pay.
So you have to pay $200 a month forever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or until you upgrade to the next new thing.
Yeah,
right?
You know what?
And keep in mind, you could probably buy a gaming laptop for the money, right? But there's going to be people out there who are going to be like, yeah, but I don't have to spend $2,000 or $3,000 all at once in order to buy the thing, so I'm just going to keep paying the $200 forever because it's easier to budget for. It's like, yeah, but maybe you should handle your finances better. Do a little bit of thinking ahead, a little bit of tucking away your change.
$200 is a ton of money. That's like a substantial portion of your utility
bills. Yeah, it's like adding more bills.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how many people actually take up on a service like that. I don't know how popular it's actually going to be, but it's something that they've come out with recently that I heard about the other day.
Well, you know what? If I absolutely had no more gaming computer and I had to purchase another one...
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh, are you in trouble?
Yeah. We're gonna... Yeah, you were saying?
If I absolutely had to... like purchase another computer, a complete computer.
Yeah.
I think what I would do is I would just put the $200 a month away for a year, and then I'd have the cash to buy the computer.
Exactly.
And then I'd only have to pay that once.
Yep. Well, that's how I see it too, right?
Right. Like I could get by. I've got some old consoles that I could play old console games on if I really needed to for entertainment and that kind of thing.
Yep.
And I could do without it for a year if I had to. Because fuck Microsoft, I'm not going... That's almost like stealing too, right? Like,
yep.
Wow.
Well, it's basically because companies have figured out that they can make more money off of you through monthly subscription type services than they can if you just buy things. And that's why literally everything in the world is going on to a rental-based economy. Because if they can force that on us as much as possible, then they can make as much money as possible.
Yeah. But anyway, we need to take a short break.
All right, we will take a short break. And we're back.
Yes.
Yes, and we were talking about Microsoft.
Yes. Or as some call them, Satan sauce.
Or micro shit. I like micro shit myself. But well, yeah, I don't know. The companies have basically figured out that, yes, they can make money by selling you a product.
Well, in more extreme cases, too, there are documented cases of things like you buy a smart thermostat for your house.
Yep.
That connects to the internet. And then the company you bought it from decides that they're going to change their business model, and now if you want your thermostat to continue to work... You have to pay them $20 a month.
Yeah, like a monthly utility bill.
When you already bought the damn thermostat from them to begin with, right?
Exactly. It's a total scam.
And they're even trying to put that into some cars and stuff like that now, too, right?
Yep. Yeah, so, you can't have seat warmers in your BMW or whatever without paying $20 a month or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. That sort of thing, right? Things that used to be...
you bought it, and so you own it.
Optional features that you bought, right?
Yeah, they're trying to do away with ownership now because then they can basically make you forever their slave.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think personally that is a type of predatory business model that should be illegal. Should absolutely be illegal. Government won't make it illegal because they benefit too, but should be illegal. Yeah, because I think that... like in the good old days, like back when I bought my 20-year-old truck, well, it's got some nice stuff in it. It had a, it's got seat warmers you don't got to pay monthly for. It's got seat warmers, and it had power windows and air conditioning and all that kind of stuff, but I don't have to pay a monthly fee to make sure that those features continue to work. Yeah. Right? Good afternoon. And I guess that's why I'll be driving my rusty old 20-year-old truck for as long as I keep driving.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I feel much the same way about it that you do. Right? I don't like the way that this whole thing is going at all. And that's as somebody who works in the tech industry.
Yeah.
Right? Just because I work there doesn't mean I support it. And in fact, the kind of work I do isn't even related to that kind of shit anyways. And thank God, I can have a clean conscience on that.
Yeah. Then again, though, municipal software involves like a annual fee or a monthly fee or something, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, but it's primarily for support.
Yeah.
Although some companies, they charge for a lot more than just support.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, well, I shouldn't talk about my business or the competitors in a video.
Yeah.
But, yes. Yes, some companies are unsavory even in that context.
Yeah. Even the municipal software business is
Yes.
cutthroat, hey?
Yeah, well, there are unsavory companies everywhere. For every good company that doesn't try to scam the shit out of people, there's always going to be a bad one that does.
Mm.
Yeah. I guess in terms of the municipal software thing, a big part of that is training, especially because people go in and out of municipal offices all the time. And so what ends up happening is you have this big thing of like 400 pages of documentation or whatever that you have for your software, right?
Yeah.
But do you think anybody actually reads it?
Well, because it's pretty intimidating to read a 400-page manual on anything, right?
I mean, maybe they should try, but, you know, because they don't actually read the manual and learn how to use the software, then they say, well, can you teach it to us?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, if you pay me.
Yeah.
You pay me, I'll teach it to you,
Yeah,
sure.
The manual is free. It comes with the software.
That's right.
Any special personal attention costs extra, right?
That's right. And so
Yeah.
that's how the money is made in that particular business for the most part.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I used to have to read, RTFM in some cases, like when I was, like younger, and I used to do surveying for, like pit development or stockpile measurements and that kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
I used to use a survey instrument quite a bit. And along with that, I had to use some AutoCAD software to dump my survey data collected by my instrument into, like this land survey program that is part of an extension of AutoCAD.
Yeah.
In order to do volume calculations, right?
Oh, okay.
But in order to learn how to do this, well, the AutoCAD manual at the time, Land Desktop 2000, that's how long ago this was, 26 years ago, this manual was like 400 pages long, right?
Yeah.
And I had to read the better part of that manual just to figure out what I needed to know in order to be able to do my job.
Yep. Well, that's how it is with our software, too.
And
right?
there wasn't really anybody at Autodesk that I could call that would take the time to actually teach me how to use their software, because I'm pretty sure that my boss expected me to figure it out anyway, right? Like without having to, go to a, what amounted to a training course or something.
Well, I'll be frank with you. Governments love to waste and spend money. And so they will absolutely pay for somebody like me to hold someone's hand and teach them how to use the software.
Yeah.
Even though I'd rather actually be working on the software. I mean, I guess money is money.
Yeah.
Right? I'd rather be coding the software and not teaching people how to use it or helping them with their problems.
Yeah.
That's just the kind of person that I am, though, right? I'm not much of a people person.
You're a little bit lacking in empathy.
Wow, I wouldn't go that far. That makes me sound evil.
Yeah, well, anyway. So, anyway, I guess that I am one of those exceptions to the rule where I actually did read the manual because at the time I felt like I had no choice. And I was expected to produce results.
Yep.
And the only way that I could produce results is if I learned how to use the tools that were made available to me, right?
Well, and I can understand sometimes too, like, especially with some software packages, the manual can be absolutely garbage because it's like 40 years out of date, right? And that kind of thing happens quite a bit in municipal software, actually.
Yeah.
There are a lot of companies out there that have really, really, really old, shitty manuals with, like, old MS-DOS pictures in them and things.
Yeah, but that being said, though, when I did go to tech school, I mean, it was an older version yet from the early 1990s.
Yeah.
But I did learn how to, you know, like at least have some basic skills in using AutoCAD.
Yeah.
Although the version of AutoCAD that I used in school was like 10 years out of date by the time I, you know, got my first job where I actually had to use AutoCAD, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't want to talk bad, but some of our customers are very much not computer users at all.
Yeah.
Like, can't even operate a computer at a basic level.
Yeah.
And we have to teach them how to use our software. So, you know, and they need it for their job, so... Otherwise, what ends up happening is they either end up... Because we actually deal with some people who are still doing bookkeeping by hand.
Wow.
Right? So, we have to take people who are doing bookkeeping by hand and teach them how to use our software. Or otherwise, we have people who have massive Excel spreadsheets for the entire operation of, like, the entire, like, municipality. And it's like, you know, that gets completely and totally unmanageable very quickly.
Yeah.
And you might understand why.
Well, because spreadsheets are useful, but they do have their limitations.
That's right. So, you know.
I know. I used to have to use spreadsheet software and that kind of thing quite a bit, too. I used Excel, and I used to keep track of my spending on it, actually. But that was just for one operation, right?
Yeah.
You know, like one plant.
Yep.
And by the end of the year, that spreadsheet would get to be pretty lengthy with a lot of pages and a lot of, you know, like thousands of lines of data and that kind of thing too, right?
Now throw up everybody's utility bills and property taxes into
I can't even begin to imagine trying to manage even a small town just by using spreadsheets to keep track of everything. That would be next to impossible.
And so that's kind of what our software fills, right? Is so that you don't have to use a spreadsheet to do all that shit.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like, I guess a measure of whether your municipal software is good or not, you could probably use how often you have to use a spreadsheet as a metric. If you're constantly having to whip out the spreadsheet software, then your municipal software is probably not very good. But if you can do pretty much everything you need to do within the software without having to go out of it and do things yourself, then your municipal software is probably reasonably good. But, you know, a lot of people, a lot of companies in this business, like, they don't even... You'll get people will submit a support ticket, and it'll go unanswered for 3 or 4 weeks. And what do you do when your utility bills are 3 or 4 weeks late in getting out? Or something like that, right? Like,
yeah, all the people that those bills are supposed to go to will think that they have a windfall there because they don't actually have to pay any bills anymore, or what?
Yeah, well, and then they still get charged, but they just get like a double-sized bill, and then they freak out, right?
Yeah.
Especially because if they probably didn't budget for it, which a lot of people don't, right? Then they get hit with this unexpected huge-ass bill. Or, as the municipality, like, what are you supposed to do then? Are you supposed to just not give up on the money?
Yeah.
Right? Because, like, it takes a lot of money in order to run a municipality.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would imagine in this day and age, even a small town requires, like, you know, many millions of dollars to operate for a year.
It's not cheap, that's for sure. Anyways, we've come to the Ancient's Way here, and the first thing we're going to do is town portal. Oh yeah, before I town portal, actually. Make sure I have a town portal left. Yes, I do. Probably should buy some more town portals anyways.
Yeah, you better do that, because you use them enough.
Yes, so we're going to go in here, and we're going to empty our belt onto the ground.
Oh. Okay.
And then we're going to town portal. I don't know how long it's going to take to kill these guys, but hopefully I can do it within the next hour.
Wow.
We do lots of damage.
It's
right,
it's going to take that long?
Well, you remember how long the Diablo fight was, right? We do lots of damage. We don't absorb damage very well, but we do lots of damage. So what I'm just going to do is buy some potions and drop them on the ground to be prepared. If I need to run back and get potions, because if you try to go back to town during this fight, it ends the fight.
Oh.
Yeah. So
you're stockpiling potions on the ground here to come and pick up in case you run short?
that's right. And also keep in mind too, those potions will eventually despawn anyways.
Yeah.
So this is technically wasted money. They will eventually despawn and go away, but I'm hoping that if I need them for the fight.
Well, I thought that the massive amount of potions that you go through anyways, that they were relatively cheap.
Yeah, they're relatively cheap, but yeah. Now we need to drink those, and I'll... Oh yeah, I need to probably throw that guy in the inventory there, and we'll drink a couple of those. We're gonna do the potion trick. Buy that.
Where you're gonna have a whole ton of potions all queued up.
That's right. Get those resistances maxed. Okay, did I buy them? Yes, I did. Oop, I gotta undo the thing there. Oh, no, I can't do it in here. Right? There we go. Then we go back into the screen. Buy the potions. Go back into the screen. Buy the potions. Back into the screen. Buy the potions. Back into the screen. Buy the potions. Back into the screen. If I can manage the screen and not actually end up talking to this lady, that's why I hate mice. Well, now we'll buy the cold resistance potions, and those ones are a little bit more important now. Because our cold resistance is kind of shit now. Okay. 1, 2.
So does this actually stack the value of them?
The time.
Oh, the time. Okay. So,
4.
So they don't all run out at the same time then?
That's right. 5. It extends the length for as long as you drink them. 6. 7.
And then you're gonna go and take a piss before you go back there, or what?
8.
Like for a really long time? Like Revenge of the Nerds ogre long piss?
Pretty much, yeah. 10. Okay, and hopefully that's enough. We'll buy some more potions. So I would operate that menu on the keyboard if I could, but it doesn't actually operate very nicely on the keyboard. And we'll pick up our good potions. Because we want our good potions to be actually with us, since we can't buy these ones. The super healing potions. We'll pick up as many as we can.
Well, I sure hope this doesn't take an hour, because I'm getting tired now.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I've got town portals to run away if I absolutely need to. But they'll even if we town portal, I think they even run away if we town portal.
You can't crack open a beer and just, you know, like...
Talk it out?
Talk it out? No.
We have been chosen to God's sacred manpower.
The spirits
Unfortunately
of the
not.
something or others, the ancient ones, blah-de-blah.
The guys we've got to kill.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, he's lightning enchanted. That's brutal. Let's go attack... No, he's lightning enchanted. Oh, my hireling is getting me killed. Hireling is going to get himself killed, actually. That's what's going to happen here.
Wow.
Lightning enchanted? I wonder if I can reset them by portaling out and then coming back. But we'll portal out and we'll come back and we'll see if we can get one that isn't lightning enchanted.
Oh, okay. So it starts this all over
Extra
again.
fast, extra strong. Extra strong is kind of bad. We'll try extra strong. Ouch. Extra strong really fucking hurts. Okay, we're not going to do extra strong. Extra strong is a no. Lightning enchanted is a no. Extra strong is a no. Unless it's on the axe throwing guy, then I think it would be fine. Okay, what do we got? Extra fast, mana burn, aura enchant. The aura is fanaticism.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Increased chance to hit increased damage.
Oh, wow, you're dead.
Yeah, wow. Oh, yeah, I'm actually dead.
Yeah.
Damn it! Now we gotta go and resurrect Buddy again. That sucks. Okay, I thought I would have better luck there with the aura enchanted, but I guess not. So we'll try.
How much backtracking do you have to do?
Oh yeah, I've got to walk back there now. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's just a straight walk. We cleared out everything, so it's just a straight walk back there. Although some of the undead corpses along the way might get back up. If I'd had Town Portal on a hotkey there, though, I could have avoided dying. But I didn't have Town Portal on a hotkey. Okay, so we're just looking for a group of guys that we can endure. In terms of, like, the special effects that they have.
Hmm. It's too bad there isn't like a waypoint or checkpoint right there.
Yeah, well, sometimes there is. Like, sometimes it spawns closer, sometimes it spawns further away. It's kind of like that. There, we'll pick up all this shit. Pick up all those potions. We'll try again. Okay, what do we got this time? Cold enchanted, extra strong. Okay, we're not doing extra strong with that guy. That guy can't be extra strong. That's like the worst guy to be extra strong. We'll try again. Okay, what do we got? Teleportation, magic resistant, and teleportation. Both of them have teleportation. We can do that. We can handle that. I don't care if you move around and teleport around. I just care that you don't one-shot me.
Okay, so now it's going to be a lengthy hack and slash session.
That's right. Although I need to walk away a little bit to let a healing potion take effect here.
Wow.
Because getting hit by whirlwind hurt quite a bit.
You know what? Healing over time sucks.
It does. It really does.
They should not have done that in this game. Now you're getting attacked 2 against 1. Maybe you should move.
Oh, we're doing fine.
Time to potion it.
Yep.
And run
Go
around.
pick up some.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't bring enough potions. We'll see.
Yeah, you don't seem to be making much progress.
Well, these guys also have a lot of armor too, right? I don't know. Maybe I'd have better luck against the axe throwing guy, but I want to take care of this guy because whirlwind sucks. It does lots of damage.
Yeah, well, it looks to me like he can do that almost as much as he wants too, right?
Pretty much, yeah. But the big problem is too is that well, you know what? If they're going to focus on Buddy there, then maybe I can take out one of these guys. Oh no, he's going to come and switch him over to me now. Well, maybe it'll be okay. Or maybe it won't be if we can't actually hit anything. You know, not being able to hit anything doesn't help. Sometimes, though, too, they can get stuck into a position where they can't hit you. Would be nice if that happened, but I don't know.
Wow.
I think I'm just gonna keep working on this guy some more.
Geez, you need to get him into a spot where he can't do that. Are you actually hitting him there?
Maybe? Yep. And I'm feeding Buddy potions in the background there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a little trick for that speedrunners abuse sometimes.
Oh. Well, it stops him
Against
from
this guy, yeah.
stops him from
It
doing
stops
that
him from doing
spinning
that
attack,
spinning
right?
attack.
Yeah.
That's right. And the spinning attack is what does the damage, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it appears that he's not much of a threat without that.
Of course, whether or not I can actually hit him or not.
Well, I thought you had designed this character with all these wonderful special abilities and everything else to...
That's right, but he's so heavily armored and has so much health that even when I do hit him, I do like a tiny little sliver. And in hindsight, maybe I didn't bring enough potions.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he hasn't really done a substantial amount of damage to you in a while.
No, but I might have to move soon just because I'm feeding Buddy all my potions. While he 2v1s those guys over there.
Uh-huh.
Oh, now I'm gonna come and get, because teleportation, right?
Yep.
Well, maybe this'll work out. I don't know. Actually, Buddy is probably a bit tankier than I am. But I have all this life stealing, too, so... I get life every time I hit these guys.
Yeah.
But then again, no, too. Maybe not. Because now it seems like I'm taking a bit of a beating. And now we've got to go and grab more potions. I don't know. Maybe I should have brought more potions. I think I should have brought more potions.
Well, you're all full again. Go
yeah,
back
I'm all
in
full
the,
again.
Go back in the
Oh, this
corner.
guy's almost dead. Maybe
Yeah.
I can kill him before...
Yeah, except now he's going to teleport around so you can't hit him, right? Oh, it looks like your little helper is targeting him too.
Almost there. There we go.
Okay, you got one of them.
Yeah, got one of them. Now we need to bring the bad whirlwind guy down here again. Okay, or I guess I'll take on this guy. I'd rather take on the whirlwind guy, honestly, because my hireling will continue to take damage there. Grab some more potions. Yeah, come to me, whirlwind man. Or not. Over here, down here. Yeah, come.
Yeah, it looks to me like once you get this guy out of it, then
The other guy's not so bad, yeah.
the rest of it will go fairly smoothly.
Although it's kind of a shame that I went and embarrassed myself and died on camera. That sucked.
Well, this isn't the first time, though.
I know, but against these guys? I guess it happens. I made a bad judgment. Because you can reset these guys over and over, right?
Can you actually hit him without actually facing him?
Well, technically he's standing inside of me right now.
Oh.
So I'm actually, I guess, smashing myself in the chest with the hammer over and over.
Oh, okay.
We're just overlapping on the same tile because the whirlwind attack doesn't check to see if he can actually validly move. It just moves him.
Oh.
And that's why this works. Although, ideally, he wouldn't be able to use it if he was standing right next to you anyways, and there was, like, no path behind you, but they don't actually do the check that way. So instead it ends up looking like this, where I'm facing the sheer edge of a cliff, swinging at nothing, and killing him.
Oh.
And
I see you're slowly making progress there now.
Yeah, well, like, I'm hitting him repeatedly, but it's like, you know, dealing 3,500 points of damage at the top end and 2,200 at the bottom end, and this is how many hits this guy takes to kill.
Wow. That's number inflation for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if he maybe has some physical resistance. Maybe he's 33% physical resistant or something, but even then I'm doing thousands of points of damage to him. And maybe we brought just the right amount of potions. Maybe
you did, because it looks to me like your helper there is in good shape yet. He actually took that guy down a fair bit, too.
You know, I don't think this guy is actually very tough. And currently he's magic resistant. That doesn't matter to us at all. Go ahead and be magic resistant. I don't care. And now that we've done that, and we've fought these guys, we can go in here and try to find the waypoint that's in here.
Alright.
I believe it's on level 2? Yeah, it's on level 2. So actually that didn't take so long. I was thinking that was going to take way longer. But it's mostly just finding some roles for those guys that you can withstand, right?
Yeah. And now you've got wizard guys tossing fireballs everywhere.
Yeah, and they have lots of health, as you can see.
Yeah, I see that. Why'd you just leave that one?
Because he was trying to walk away, and I don't want to draw any monsters by trying to pursue him.
Oh.
And yeah, he'll regenerate life over time, but I think it's better to not draw more than what we already have here. So that's why. Although, Mercenary there, his weapon has amplified damage, and when amplified damage triggers, I do double damage on top of my, like, several hundred times double damage. So...
Okay.
Yeah, what do? We do plus 805% damage per swing. And then he doubles that, so it's like plus 1,600% damage. And yes, so we have plus 1,600% damage and one of the biggest and heaviest two-handed weapons in the game, and it took that long to kill those ancients. They have a lot of health, man.
Yeah.
But everything in here is going to have quite a bit of health now, because this is like one of the final areas of the game, right? We just need to get to floor 2, though, and find the waypoint on floor 2.
See, if you were playing like the Amazon or something, then you'd be immune to fireballs.
Oh, how do you figure?
Well, because you wouldn't have any.
Ha ha ha. Fuck. Feed Buddy a potion there. He's getting pretty beat up in that firewall, and he's not smart enough to move out of it. Maybe move backwards a little bit.
Yeah, it's looking a little crowded there.
I mean, I don't really need the potions, but Buddy needs them. I can just redeem corpses, and I gotta remember to do that, too. Redeem some corpses, but yeah. This is a boss pack, too. That's part of why it's like this. Okay, we need to, town portal. Nope, can't get back that way. We're gonna go back out to see the ancients. Yeah, we're gonna go back out here. Well, you know what? This is why we buy town portals, so we can go back out here.
Yeah.
Yes, blah blah blah, ancients. We killed the ancients, and now we're running away from a flesh spawning thing. Everybody's like, yeah, wow, you bested the ancients in battle. It's like, yeah, I stood in a corner and whacked it myself with a hammer over and over.
Yeah.
To open up the fucking thing again. And they're all in here waiting for us. It's always a party. There, I killed one. I killed one. And then Buddy died. Probably because that boss is probably something like extra strong or something. Who knows? The boss is probably like extra strong or something.
Well, it looks like, is your weapon highlighted in red there because it needs repair, or
No,
what?
it's just I can't use something in my offhand.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I don't know all about the heads-up display.
Okay, we'll run back into this area a little bit. Draw some of these guys out this way. Buddy there is trapped, but he's not actually being attacked because the monsters kind of forget about you when you go off screen.
Oh.
Yeah, it's actually the flesh spawners themselves. It's kind of like the beetles thing, you know, the beetles that spawn more beetles.
Yeah.
Oh, the flesh spawners spawn more flesh spawners. Okay, spectral hit. I don't know. I don't know why Buddy was getting killed by this guy. Maybe it was just volume of attack or something. Because that guy wasn't particularly scary or anything. Although those guys are annoying, because they have a lot of health, and you can't really kill them properly unless you use a blunt weapon.
Well, I mean, you've definitely got the thing that fits the bill for that.
Yeah. Well, I think blunt weapons, too, they give me another, like, plus 50% damage. So I'm doing, like, 855% damage to the undead, I guess.
Ugh.
I think that's how that would scale.
Oh.
Actually, that bone weave might sell for a lot, but we're carrying around an executioner sword. Because I didn't actually go back and sell anything. Okay, they're part of the boss pack that we just killed. Buddy, where are you going? Where are you going? I just don't want to get surrounded by those things. Let them go kill Buddy. That's what his job is. He dies for me so I don't have to. And there's an amplified damage. That's always nice. Yeah, if I could just kill the one that's trying to kill me. Because I get stunned every time he hits me.
Yeah. I don't know, there's so many little tiny bodies crowded into that area, I can't even tell how many of them there are there.
Yeah, they just kind of spawn continuously. I mean, for me, it's a continuous source of healing, technically. But, if there's enough of them, they might overwhelm Buddy there too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is from that boss pack. That's from, that's why they were so much tougher than normal. They were all kind of sitting up here in the corner, and there's still more of them. Oh, and there's another boss there. So we had back-to-back bosses.
Of the same thing.
Yeah, of the same thing. Mana burn, fire enchanted. Ouch. That kind of hurt. We'll just go over here and redeem some corpses. And let you beat on Buddy for a while. Ouch. That thing had a lot of hit points to do that much damage to me when it blew up, considering I have 75% fire resistance.
Whoa, what's that?
Oh, that's just Bhaal casting a spell on us. Don't worry about it. If you stand idle in here, he'll hit you with, like, lightning spells and poison clouds and things like that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So you're that close to the end.
Yep, we're that close to the end. And also, I had so many damn identify scrolls, I had to sell one. Okay, we'll sell that. That wasn't worth as much as I thought it would be. We'll sell this. That'll be worth a buddy. No, that won't be worth a buddy. Wow, I thought it would have been. There was the bone weave, though. I'll pick up the bone weave, and we'll sell that. And we'll grab those demon hide boots. We'll ID the demon hide boots, and they're total garbage, but the bone weave might sell.
Hello.
For a buddy. So that's a buddy right there. So we're making a profit in spite of how many times we had to resurrect buddy there. We're still making a profit. Slow and steady, right?
Yeah, it's like this is a business or something, right? Where did your 2 yellow bottle charm thingies go?
In my inventory.
Oh.
In this thing.
Yeah.
And that's plus like 20 hit points, plus like 40 hit points there. So we want to make sure we have those out. Accidentally picked up a mana potion. Was there anything over here? Is there... No, there's nothing over here. It was just a room loaded full of things that want to kill you with no benefit.
Yeah. Although by the looks of it, you're going to be leveling up again here pretty soon.
Yeah, I guess I'm gaining experience at a decent rate in here.
Well, you're ass deep in monsters more or less constantly. Unless you killed them all in that one place.
Yeah, maybe they all came out all at once or something. I don't know. Oh, nope, there's a pack of nasty ladies right there. Since I can see them around the corner, I might want to take a look at them before I leap into them. How scary are you ladies?
Wow,
Extra fast cursed.
There's a shit ton of them too, like wow.
Yeah, and that's a really bad boss pack. Let's not go that way.
Okay.
Let's go the other way. And watch Buddy get stuck on a wall. You know, I'm walking so that you can catch up, right? Moron. Okay, what are you? You're just regular spear ladies? We can do regular spear ladies. Regular spear ladies are fine. I just don't want the extra fast cursed spear ladies that make me take double damage. Because that's really, double damage is bad, okay? Anytime you run into anything with double damage. And they just make it more and more common that things do double damage. Double damage sucks. There we go. Problems were solved.
Well, I guess every problem looks like a nail, right?
That's right, because every problem is a nail.
Wow, they're speedy.
Yeah, they can sprint just like you can. So it's difficult to get away from them if you actually have to get away from them. For some reason. Thankfully, they're not too bulky. I don't need 350 arrows, thank you.
Well, especially if you don't have a bow, right?
Okay, what do we got here? Just some standard run-of-the-mill enemies? Feed Buddy a potion preemptively there. I'm cold. So cold. See, when it's not the boss pack variety of these guys, they're not so bad. It's the boss pack guys, every time they hit you, they make you flinch, right?
Yeah.
I don't really know what the damage formula is for flinching in this game. In Diablo 1, it was basically if you took more points of damage than your level. But obviously I take more points of damage than my level all the time, because I'm only like level 72.
Yeah, and, you know, since it appears that the damage dealt and received is numbers in the thousands of points now.
Yeah, especially on Players 8 here, where everything has 500% more health.
So what happened there? You hit a dead end?
Yeah, dead end. Gotta go the other way. Just stay right, and don't draw the ladies on the left. Because we know they're over there. Okay, these are just normal ladies. See, part of the thing, too, when you see me back away when I first encounter enemies, I'm not necessarily looking to run away from them, I'm looking to hover my mouse over them just to see if they have any special effects or not.
You want to see what you're up against, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Because if you happen to start to take a couple steps back, and it turns out they're extra strong cursed, so they can do 4 times damage to you, it's like, yeah, you don't want to fight that.
So, what's the premise between this game and the next one, where, you know, if you defeat all 3 of the big bad guys in this game...
oh, between the game that they never made, you mean?
Yeah, like, what's the premise for the next game?
Yeah, basically, they make it so that Adria is evil, and she uses, I can't even remember, her like, niece or something, to resurrect Diablo or something.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. It was dumb. It was a dumb storyline. It was a dumb game.
Luckily, they never made it, right?
That's right, they never made it. It also had a cash shop in it in the 2008 or so, or wherever it came out.
What's that? What
Like
do you mean,
where you gotta pay real money for items?
Microtransactions?
No, like a real money cash shop to buy and trade items.
Really?
On a market. Yeah. And you always had to be online in order to play the game. You couldn't play the game offline.
Oh. So did this game fail miserably when it came out then?
No,
or?
it ended up being like a bestseller because the previous game was a bestseller, so everybody had high hopes for the game, and media coverage on such things wasn't exactly what it was back then, right? Nobody was paying attention to how shitty things were all the time.
Yeah.
People just kind of expected things to be good, and yeah, sometimes a flop would come out, but like most companies weren't completely and totally fucking predatory out their gills. Right?
Oh, so basically you can thank the makers of the game that did not exist
for contributing to that.
For contributing to that.
Yeah.
Being pioneers in the...
well, think about it. Only 3 years prior to the release of that game or so, it was... I mean, I guess I can't remember the exact date that the game was not released, but... only like 3 or 4 years prior to that was Madden 05 and that generation of gaming, and that was a good generation of gaming.
Yeah.
People had reason to believe that things would, even if a flop came out now and then, things would be reasonably good.
Yeah, there were no microtransactions yet.
Yeah, there were no microtransactions, there were no cash shops, there was no always online bullshit where you have to be connected to the internet forever. I mean, yeah, there were MMOs, but the whole premise of an MMO is to play online with hundreds or thousands of people.
Yeah.
Right, so that's different. I wouldn't really consider that in the same thing, because they're not doing that to control your use of the product. They're doing that so that they can have, like, these big, massive hordes of people playing together.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like a giant multiplayer experience.
Yeah, basically. That's why they call them massively online multiplayer. Or massive multiplayer online is, I think, what MMO actually stands for.
Oh.
Okay, now we just need to not go north. Because that's where all those nasty ladies are. And we have just avoided that encounter. Outright. This is a nasty encounter I don't want to deal with. But yeah, and in somewhere in there, either people weren't paying attention and didn't realize it, or they just kind of tacitly accepted that it was the way things were, and then eventually we ended up at the point where we are now, where everything is fun.
Yeah. Well, except that finally now consumers are starting to push back, right?
Yeah,
You know,
I
like
mean...
there's been some several fairly high-profile games from major studios that have come out in the last year or two that have flopped, right? Because
Well, listen,
because people aren't buying them and stuff like that, right?
I'll reveal a little bit about my age. I became basically a young man around the turn of the 2010s, right? And because of the way this was, and because, like, you know, I'm the type of guy who I'm not merely much of a people person, right? I spent most of my free time playing video games because that's what I like to do with my free time. And the release of this game's predecessor, which was never released, as well as the general trends in the gaming industry, turned me into a very sour and bitter young individual. Right? I became a very, very jaded, very glass half empty individual as a result of that. That's part of why I live under a rock and I don't pay attention to anything anymore.
Well, you know what? I never took it that personally. I just decided that I'm not going to open my wallet and give, you know, game publishers my money unless they make something that I actually want to play.
Well, the big thing too was sometimes they did make things that I wanted to play and I chose not to buy those things because of how they were sold. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes it would be things like, you know, my various social acquaintances would all want to play the game. And I wouldn't play it with them because of how it was sold.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the things that I do believe in, I'm very firm in the things that I believe in, right?
Well, I kind of feel, you know, understand how you feel about that because Oblivion Remastered is a good example, right? I mean, it's been out for how long now? It's Steam.
Yep.
But I won't buy it from Steam because I don't like their business practices.
That's right, yep.
I figured, you know what? I'll just wait until GOG gets a license to sell it, and then I'll buy it from GOG.
Yep. And that's exactly how I feel about it, because I'd rather own things.
Because once I buy a copy from GOG...
You have it forever.
Yeah, and they aren't going to try and alter the product that I pay for without my consent, right?
Nasty boss pack on the left there.
Because with these forced updates and things like that, I mean, essentially that's what they're doing, is they're altering the product that I paid for without my consent.
Yep.
Right?
Gonna go back to town here right quick. Because undead mages are really bad for us still.
And that's something I'm particularly a bit touchy about right now, because right now I can't make mods for my Fallout 4 game because my creation kit is screwed up.
Yeah, and I haven't had a chance to fix it because I've been so busy.
Yeah, because of a forced update, right?
Yeah. Man, look at how much health I lose from attacking those guys.
Yeah. And that's why I really don't like that particular approach, right?
Yep.
You know, like that it should be strictly voluntary and it should be 100% under my control.
Especially for a single-player game.
Yeah, well, for any game, really. Once I purchase it, I should own a copy of it, unless it's like one of those MMO things that you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Because I at least would enter into something like that understanding what it is.
Yeah.
Right? But,
and, I mean, like, those things, the temporary nature of them comes mostly from the infrastructure required to drive such a thing. Right?
Yeah. That being said, some of those are pretty long-term. I think that the...
Yeah, like the World of Warcraft, for example, is still going on.
Yeah.
Although, there's old World of Warcraft versus new World of Warcraft, and there's a whole, you know, debate that World of Warcraft people could get into about that.
Okay,
I'm not particularly well-versed on it myself.
I don't know anything about it at all. All I know is that it's been around for a long time.
Oh my god. That was me hurting myself.
Wow.
That was me hurting myself. I did so much damage, I almost killed myself.
Wow. Don't do that. It took a lot of time and effort to get to where you are.
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to drop a portal here, in case I do that again. Because that was entirely me hitting myself.
But anyway, that's the thing that basically, you know, was a choice that Steam made for a policy that, you know, drove me away as a customer, right?
Well, and the worst part is everybody's like, oh, well, everybody else in all their other game stores, like the Epic Game Store and the EA Game Store and all these other places, they're so much worse than Steam, so much more predatory. And they're like, that's not a good thing. That doesn't mean that Steam are the good guys, okay?
Yeah.
That just means that everybody is hopelessly evil and corrupt.
Yeah, it just means that maybe they're less bad than some others, right?
Why are we following this asshole? Stop that, hireling. No, come back here. He's gonna walk back here, and it's gonna take him forever because he's gotta walk around all that crap.
But, you know what? I know that,
Thanks.
you know, one doesn't like government interference and that kind of thing, but it would be nice if someone knowledgeable would advise them on how to make pro-consumer laws.
Oh, I am not
that would prevent such abuses and make them illegal.
I am not anti-government invention at all, or intervention at all when it comes to protecting consumers, right? Because I think part of a free market is ensuring that consumers get a fair deal, right?
Yeah.
And they're not being exploited or enslaved. Like, we don't allow you, even in a free society, we don't allow you to sell yourself into slavery, for example.
Yeah.
Right? Even if you were damn well convinced that you wanted to sell yourself into slavery, we just don't allow you to do that. Right? And so that's the kind of way that I view it, right?
Because this extends not just to the gaming thing, but even to what we talked about earlier about the thermostat.
Yep.
Or kill switches in cars and stuff like that, right? Like,
yep.
You know, all of that shit should be illegal.
Should be, yes. Well, I just finished feeding him an antidote potion, and now we're poisoned again. Oh well.
It's temporary.
Damn undead mages. Hate undead mages.
Yeah.
Honestly, I hate the undead in general.
Well,
maybe
you know,
that's a bit of fitting into the role-playing, though, considering I'm playing a fucking paladin.
Yeah, really. Well, I think, though, that you know, almost everyone hates the undead, right?
Okay, let's see here. We need to level up, and we need more hit points. Always more hit points.
Huh.
And combat skills, we'll go offensive auras, back to fanaticism. We don't even use the fanaticism aura, we just take it because it gives us a 5% passive damage boost to all the skill set that we already have.
Oh.
And we don't use any other skills other than the skills we already have, as you noticed. Okay, can I get some healing over there from these guys? Yes. Feed Buddy a potion there to fight off the poison. Man, it's skeleton after skeleton. Right, and I mean, I know there's people out there too who don't go back and play old games that they played before because in their view it's no longer culturally relevant or whatever. But for me, like, I'll play a game just because I enjoy it, right? And even if you beat a game once, even if it's something like an action game, well, you can still learn to be better at that game. You can still improve yourself. You can still challenge yourself. Maybe you do, I only use a certain type of equipment challenge, or maybe you do a no-death challenge, or, you know, things like that.
Yeah, well, the no-death challenge is a big one for me in games like Fallout 4 or Skyrim, right?
Yep. Yeah, you're really big on that.
Yep. But the thing is also, in a lot of those games too, you can greatly change the playing experience through modding, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, like adding particularly large-scale quest mods.
Yep.
That, you know, like can literally add dozens of hours of brand new playing experience.
Well, and also too, like, I even remember, like, as I said, right, I've been playing games since I was a young man, right? But, like, even, like, you know, if I were to ever have kids someday, well, I wouldn't mind being able to pass down some of the video games that I own to my children and have them get the same enjoyment out of it that I did.
Yeah.
And maybe it's even something that we could do together. Right? But you can't do that if you have always online crap that you can't share with other people, that you don't have ownership over, and maybe they take it out of service or revoke your indefinite license to play it or just stop supporting it anymore, and then it's just vaporware, it's gone. Right? You can never share those memories with someone else ever again.
Yeah.
It turns gaming, which I mean, admittedly, it's not necessarily the most social activity, but it turns gaming into a purely antisocial activity. Right? Maybe that's a little bit of a silly way to think of it, but that's how I view it. Really don't want to try to kill these guys myself, but I'm kind of being forced to. Because of the volume of guys in here. There's a lot of guys in this room. And I don't have any potions in reserve. We'll have to go back to town anyways. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's nothing more valuable to me than, you know, sitting on a couch with a couple of your friends and playing a video game, or sitting, you know, with a couple of desks next to each other, or even if you're, like, on a laptop or something, sitting at, like, somebody's kitchen table in their house or whatever, and playing some video games together, right? Like, instead of, like, sitting down to watch the football game, although I do that too, but instead of sitting down to watch the football game or sitting down to play cards, I'll sit down and I'll play video games with someone, right? Like, that's the kind of hobby that I have.
Yeah.
And, like, always online DRM and things that attack your ownership and things like that, it throws a big wrench into that kind of thing.
I can't carry anymore.
Right? And people might say, oh, well, you know, why don't you just, like, always have an internet connection, right?
Well, the thing is, though, there's been times, in fact, recently, there's a large utility box belonging to the local internet provider, who happens to also be the local phone company.
Yep.
That looks like it got destroyed by a stray automobile.
Yep.
And our internet was out for a couple of days.
Well, not only that, but, you know, like, even if you do have access...
Because our phones were out for a couple of days, too. Like, anything related to that, because that, you know, like, that must have been the service box for, you know, like...
The entire neighborhood?
Our neighborhood or something, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, all of our neighbors also had their phones and internet out for a couple of days, right?
Well, the thing is, too, even if you do have internet, right? And even if you don't have outages, or you have something like, I don't know, like Elon Musk's satellite-based internet, right? He has a satellite-based internet system now that he sells, right? So, you know, you don't even have to worry about the infrastructure for that anymore. Although I don't know how good it is, mind you. So, there is that, but...
Can you even get it in Canada?
I don't know. I'd have to take a look at that. But, you know, like, even with that kind of thing, I mean... What happens if the company decides, because this happens fairly often too, if the company decides that they don't want to sell that product anymore, and then they just remove it from the online game store?
Yeah.
Right? That happens all the time. And then you want to play this game with your friends, but you can't actually do that anymore, because you can't even get them to buy the same game that you want to play with them anymore.
Yeah. I actually had that happen with music too. Like from the Apple iTunes store.
Yep.
Because I have, like, or I had an iPod, right? Because, you know, like nowadays, if you want to listen to music in your vehicle or whatever, you pretty much have to buy it in electronic form, it seems.
Yep.
And, you know, like I had an album by a particular artist, and when... you know, this thing kept pestering me to do update, right?
Yep.
It kept pestering me, and for about 3 years I held it off. And finally it told me that my device would no longer work unless I updated. So I updated, and it removed that one particular album from my collection of music on my device.
Yeah.
And when I went to look in the store for it, it was no longer there.
Yep.
And you know what? That was actually rewritten, like, because the iPods have like a little hard drive in them, right?
Yeah.
So that was actually data that was written to my hard drive on my device that they came into and removed.
Yep.
And it's like,
probably because they lost the license to sell and distribute it.
Yeah, I know, but the way I look at it is that, you know what, once it's on my device, recorded on my hardware,
you should have it.
It's mine. I paid for it. I paid for a copy of that. It's, to me, it's not any different than if you, in the olden days, would go to the store and buy a vinyl disc, right?
Yep. I think Buddy is bugged.
However, I guess I was mistaken, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, because everything now these days, and again, that's the same problem I have with Steam, is you're not buying the game, you're buying a perpetual license to play the game.
Yeah, for at least as long as they still have that item in their store, right?
That's right, but they can terminate it at any time, right? Like, even the, or the company itself can turn around and terminate the license on Steam, and then Steam doesn't even have a say in the regard.
Yeah.
What is Buddy doing? He is super bugged. Yeah, there, that fixed him.
Maybe he was paralyzed.
Nope, that doesn't exist as an effect in this game.
He was hypnotized.
No, I think it was the teleportation bug where they teleport to you and then all of a sudden no enemy can focus on them anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I want that rejuvenation potion. I have to open up my inventory and then do this, because it's not the same potion type as the potion type that I have in my belt.
But anyway, that makes me extremely hesitant now to even buy music from them for my device. And so I've got this device now that costs several $100s sitting here that I haven't added anything new to it in like a long time.
Yep.
Because I don't want to basically give them even more money
for things that they can take off.
For things that they can remove at their own will, right?
Yep.
And not only that, but to make matters worse, if I wanted to back my contents of my device up, I can't even properly copy those music files to a computer or something.
Yep. Well, not only that, but here's another thought too. Like, maybe you're a social listener of music, right? So in the old days, if you had a vinyl or a CD or a tape, and you wanted your buddy to listen to it, you could just hand it to him. And be like, yeah, bring it back to me in a week, or whatever, right? But you can't do that anymore either.
Well, what I used to do too is I would, buy the vinyl disc, right?
Yep.
And then right away I would make a cassette tape copy of it.
Yep.
And then I would put the vinyl disc away
for storage,
and listen to the music on the cassette tape copy that I made.
Yeah.
Because it preserves the vinyl disc.
Yep.
And I've still got some that have only been played, like a few times.
Although, and they're in pristine condition.
Yeah, although, like now I don't listen to vinyl or cassette tapes much anymore anyway, because I have a stereo down here, but it hasn't actually been hooked up in years and years, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is too, though, is you have a right to back up the material that you buy too, right? In fact, that actually had to be a legal battle. Somebody had to win a court case in order for you to have that right, because companies tried to take your right away from that.
Yeah.
So that if, say, your vinyl or your CD or whatever went down, and you still owned the CD but it wasn't playable anymore, or you still owned the vinyl but it wasn't playable anymore, you couldn't make copies of it for your own use.
Yeah. Well,
right.
You know what? I think that there's some sort of discrepancy between, like about consumer ownership.
Yeah, well, the music industry was evil first.
Yeah, the way that I see it is that, like, I have an iPad now because my iPod finally died because the battery in it swelled up to the point where it literally burst the case apart.
Wow.
But basically, on my iPad now, I have all my music collection on there of stuff that over the course of several years I purchased from the iTunes store.
Yep.
And you know what? There were a couple of things that I no longer have that I paid for.
Because of the forced update.
Because of the forced update.
Yeah. And then they removed things from their store and removed things from people's devices.
Yeah. And you know what? The way I see it is that's overreach right there. They shouldn't actually be able to reach into my device. Yeah, it should be
completely criminal.
Yeah, they shouldn't actually be able to reach into my device and alter the data on my hard drive, right?
Yeah, but also too, like, I mean, music shouldn't be something sold as, like, right to listen to. It should be sold as right to own.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because you know what? The artist already gets their cut of that sale once. right?
Well, and honestly, they don't even really get a cut of it. It's usually the producing company that makes most of it. The artists have to make their money from playing live.
Yeah, now. At one time, they used to make a lot of money from, you know, like album sales and that kind of thing. But,
Yeah.
But nowadays, people don't buy albums hardly anymore either, right? They'll just buy individual songs.
Yeah, a couple of songs that they like, and that's it. Or whatever the popular song on the album is, so that they can say that they listen to it.
Yeah.
But the thing is about that, too, that I don't really necessarily like is, you know, yeah, okay, you're going to have good songs and bad songs on every album, right? But usually the album is like, at least the way I view it, it's part of a collective experience, right? The album contextualizes the songs that are on it.
Well, and also, good artists don't produce poor albums. They don't just produce one good song and then the rest of their album is dog shit.
Yeah.
You know? And so good artists make good, solid albums that are a good listening experience for the entire thing, right?
Yeah. But also, too, again, like, you know, if you listen to the songs back to back, like they're arranged on, they're often arranged in that order for a reason.
And you can usually, it's easy to tell who the good artists are as opposed to the mediocre ones, because the mediocre ones that produce one good song on an album and then the rest of it is filler, they are what we call one-hit wonders, and after that one hit kind of passes, you know, people get tired of it, you never hear from them again, right?
Yeah.
They never produce another album, they don't get on the radio again or anything like that. But, you know, like you get bands that have been around for, some of them 30, 40 years.
Yeah,
right?
like they're all old men now.
I mean, you know, like AC/DC is supposed to be coming, I think, this summer.
Oh, yeah.
To play at, you know, a large venue here in the city. And I think that those guys are so old that most of the original lineup isn't even still with them. I think it's their children now, right? Like,
yeah.
But those guys literally, they started in the 1970s, right?
Yep.
And you know, like they finally got too old to continue by, you know, like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Like they had a career that spanned 4 or 5 decades, right? You know?
Yep. So we're actually a little bit over time here, but I'm not going to make the waypoint in time. I'm still trying to get there.
Yeah, well, you don't even have a clue where it is, right?
Yeah, it's on floor 2, so we're on the correct floor, but
yeah,
you'll just have to bear with us, everyone.
You know, like, and that's what you can look at, is you look at bands that basically maintained popularity and you know, kept selling concert tickets and albums and stuff for, you know, like 30, 40 years, right?
Yep.
And I mean, it's weird, but back even, you know, like a good example would be Aerosmith, for example, right? They were a popular band in the 1970s, starting in the earlier part of the 70s. Mm-hmm. And the last time I went to see them in a concert was around 1990 or the early 90s.
Yeah.
And, you know, like it was funny, but, or maybe it was the late 80s, but it was funny, but I was one of the older people in the lineup to buy tickets.
Wow.
Because they actually continued on long enough and continued to produce good music that even the next generation after me liked.
Yep.
Right? You know, like I wasn't familiar with the same songs that they were, because I, you know, didn't buy music as much by the time I was like, you know, like an adult.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, I found the same thing, because I listen to a lot of the thrash metal bands and things too, and I found the same thing for that, in that regard.
Yeah, suddenly you're about 30 years old and you're standing in a lineup where most of the people are, you know, like 18 or 20, right?
Yeah.
But I thought that was pretty cool, actually, because you know, it just showed you that they had managed to you know, like stay relevant as artists and entertainers, right?
Yep. Yeah, joke's on you, asshole. I'm already poisoned. Okay, well, we found the way down, but we don't need to go down. We need to find the fucking thing on this floor. I'm gonna have, like, completely explored this entire floor before I find that damn thing.
Yeah. But there were other artists that, you know, like, produced a little bit weaker albums that where they had one song that made the top 40 and stayed there for a few weeks kind of thing. But then after that, you never heard from them again.
Yep.
They were done, right?
Yeah. Anyways, we found the waypoint finally.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh,
because it's past my bedtime. I'm starting to go get sleepy now.
Yeah, we can finally bring this one to a close.
But I guess that one good example of that type of longevity that everybody knows is Kiss, right?
Yep.
You know, I mean, I have got probably about their first 8 or 10 albums. I don't even know how many.
Yeah.
But their first album came out in like 1972 or 3 or something, right?
Yeah.
And I think they're largely retired now, but they were still, you know, active up until, you know, I don't know, 10 years ago.
Yep. Yeah, about then, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And everybody liked Kiss, right? I mean, they produced catchy songs that were about sex, drugs, and rock and roll and partying and stuff like that.
Yep,
mostly
popular content mattered.
Yeah, exactly. They weren't trying to sell people a message or do doom and gloom stuff
Just
or anything like that.
Time.
Yeah, all of their music was very upbeat and you know, like pretty you know, cheery kind of almost. I mean, some of it would like Detroit Rock City or something like that about the guy who dies in the car accident. I guess that's not that cheerful, but
yeah,
you know what I mean. Like the majority of their songs were about, you know, basically sex and drugs and rock and roll, right?
Yeah,
You know, they weren't trying to save the world or change people's opinions on something or anything like that. They were just trying to be entertaining.
That's right. Yeah, be entertainers because they are entertainers.
Yeah.
Ultimately, and that's why we go to them, we listen to them, we buy their stuff, right? They're not our moral leaders or our thought leaders, and we don't really need moral leaders or thought leaders, honestly, in a free country.
Yeah.
Right? You don't need that kind of thing.
No, not in your entertainment anyway.
But anyways, I guess we should wrap things up.
Yeah.
So until next time,
I'm Sandman 99.
and I'm Rec V5. Have a good one.